The CIA and George Adamski, alien contactee. George Adamski was a Polish-American author who became widely known in ufology circles and to some degree in popular culture after he displayed numerous photographs in the 1940s and 1950s that he said were of alien spacecraft, claimed to have met with friendly Nordicalian space brothers, and claimed to have taken flights with them to the moon and other planets. My lawyer said Eickhoff suggested a letter of inquiry to be sent to a certain agency in Washington, the CIA. He called me to his office. He had received the answer, which also included instructions for all parties concerned to deny any connections with the statement, which came from a Mr. Alan Dulles of a certain top agency in Washington. Said Dulles, "Yes, I did have a case for federal court. However," he said, "by use of the injunction, if necessary, he would prevent anyone from testifying in court concerning this book, Inside the Spaceships, because maximum security exists concerning the subject of UFOs." Alan Welsh Dulles was director of the CIA, DCI from 1953 to 1961, and following a FOIA request to the agency in 1984, Timothy Good was sent a copy of a letter from Dulles to the Honorable Gordon H. Schur, House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., dated the 4th of October 1955. The questions which Mr. Eickhoff has raised in his letter to you are largely outside of the jurisdiction of this agency. Section 102D of the National Security Act of 1947 provides that the CIA shall have no police, subpoena, law enforcement powers, or internal security functions. Insofar as Mr. Eickhoff appears interested in pursuing the problem of mail fraud in connection with George Adamski's book, entitled Inside the Spaceships, it would appear to be a problem of law enforcement, from which we are specifically barred by statute. CIA, as a matter of policy, does not comment on the truth or falsity of material contained in books or other published statements, and therefore it is not in a position to comment on Mr. Adamski's book or the authenticity of the pictures which it contains. The subject matter of Mr. Adamski's book would appear to be more in the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense and the National Science Foundation. The CIA was unable to locate any further documents pertaining to Adamski. Possibly more exist, possibly not, but certainly the FBI had an extensive file on him, and these documents have now been released under the FOIA. In 1956, a memorandum for the record was written by the chief of the CIA Office of Scientific Intelligence, Applied Science Division, W.E. Lexo, confirming that the ASD had now assumed responsibility within OSI for non-conventional types of air vehicles. Files would be maintained in ASD on incoming raw reports where, in our judgment, the subject matter may provide information bearing on foreign weapons system research or development. Reports in this category were to be forwarded to the fundamental science area for review, and those which did not fit would be forwarded to the FSA for retention or destruction, and reports which fit under none of the above will be destroyed. The memorandum continued, reference to a chronological file of all OSI correspondence and action taken in connection with the United States UFO program will be maintained by ASD. A file of unfinished intelligence reports published by members of the United States intelligence community on UFOs will be maintained in ASD. The Applied Science Division was anxious to avoid the accumulation of reports, which experience and reference to have shown cannot be analyzed in a manner useful to OSI in carrying out its mission. It has been recommended that the raw intelligence and the obsolete finished reports on UFOs, now filed in Electronics Division, will be destroyed. In early November 1957, according to researcher Brad Sparks, Congress secretly pressed the CIA for an evaluation of a nationwide UFO flap, then in progress. The OSI issued instructions to the Office of Operations Contact Division to have its field offices collect UFO data for the ensuing one-week period. The results of this investigation are yet to be declassified. Resources: Above top secret, Timothy Good, 1988. My take. The whole George Adamski saga is controversial for sure. Very interesting though. We plan on doing at least one full video on George Adamski in the future.